This is very political consequences, kind of bringing it back here. Let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. Some major news from the American Values 2024 PAC, which is supporting RFK Jr. The number of signatures collected in the state of Georgia and in the state of Arizona now passed the threshold that will be putting RFK Jr.'s name on the ballot as an independent. That is very significant because obviously those are two of the most important states for the Biden Electoral College victory back in 2020, where a matter of only 20,000 votes, literally combined in both states, would have swung everything. Combine some of the chaos that we're seeing right now with uncommitted and all of that. And he is in very, very serious trouble. Not to mention, though, that RFK Jr. proven to draw some votes away from Trump as well. Same time, look at Michigan, where we just had that primary. He's about 76% of the way there, likely probably even more after the chaos that's been happening. 22,671. In the state of South Carolina, he looks to be about 60%. The other updates that they have are Maryland and Massachusetts coming soon. I believe in the state of Virginia, that is being launched soon as well. So RFK Jr. did make a commitment on the show. He said he's going to be on all 50 states. We'll see. I think that's incredibly difficult. But, Krystal, if his goal is at least make a statement in battleground states, Georgia and Arizona is enough. I mean, that's enough already to be able to draw enough votes in order to significantly change things. Let's put the next one, please, up on the screen. Just so everyone can see, they have a New York Times CNN poll that they flashed that shows Biden at 33%, Trump at 33%, Kennedy at 26%. So right up there, you know, shouting distance of these candidates.
And that was specifically in Arizona.
Exactly, specifically in Arizona. I mean, that is an extraordinary amount. Doesn't necessarily fit with what we've seen in some others. Let's go to the next one that actually shows every major battleground state, and it includes not only Trump, but it includes Biden, RFK Jr., Cornel West, and Jill Stein. So like a five-way matchup. Some of the noteworthy ones that I see is that the Trump name is winning in all of them. So that kind of matters between Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, and Wisconsin. And the margin of victory very much there includes some problems for Biden that we can see directly amongst Kennedy, polling anywhere between 5 to 8% between all of these. So if we think about the variable results, it obviously kind of makes sense. People is probably still getting to know, you know, RFK Jr. and others. But Krystal, if he's able to get ballot access, especially in some of these battlegrounds, we already know he's going to be a very consequential player. That's it. No question about it.
Yeah, even if the results do look more like that second group of polls, which I think is probably more realistic, just because we know third-party support usually declines as you get towards election day, and people sort of sit with, okay, well, it's going to be one of these two dudes, so you know, I don't want to quote unquote throw my vote away, is how a lot of people think of it come to election day. But even if we're talking about 6 percentage points. Who that 6 percentage points comes from predominantly could be the difference maker in these key states. So yeah, if you are going to be on the ballot, even in Georgia and Arizona, that could be a significant problem. Now, I do think if he's only able to achieve ballot access in a handful of states, that is going to significantly diminish his support, because people will be able to see like, oh, well, you know, this guy's not even in the ballot in most places. I don't really want to, you know, I don't see, he doesn't have a shot to win. Like, it's basically impossible for him to be able to win. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with him. But there's enough people who are so upset with these other two choices that I think they'll be willing to vote for him regardless of whether they really believe that he's got a path to victory, just as a protest more than anything. Same with Cornel West and Jill Stein. I think there are significantly more questions about whether Cornel West will be on the ballot in these states versus Jill Stein, who with the Green Party should have pretty significant ballot access. So, you know, there's it's very, very significant that even if it's only a handful of swing states, that he could be on the ballot in some of these places.
It's interesting to me, too, you know, and every time he sticks to this just basic, like some of the basics of politics, things that people all think, I find that, you know, I'll see it organically everywhere. So, for example, after McConnell stepped down, he just says, Mitch McConnell served 40 years. Part of public service is knowing when to usher in a new generation. It's time to promote leaders in D.C. who don't kowtow to military contractors or push us deeper into foreign policy contract. You know, it's like, we need representation who will prioritize American wellness over everyone else. Yeah, it definitely does sound a little bit like a politician, but that's a very popular sentiment, right? It's one of those those where people hate, especially Trump and Biden. They hate the ageism. Yeah, RFK Jr. Or sorry, they hate their age. And with RFK, yeah, he's only 70-something years. He's 70 years old, but he just looks a hell of a lot younger compared to these other two geriatrics who are in the chair. So I could see it being potent. So anyway, we're going to continue to cover the ballot access just because it is going to be so consequential in the election. And if he continues to be able to get on the ground and the ballots in these battleground states specifically, then, regardless, of whether he is on the ballot nationally or not, it's going to have some impact, as you said, even if it's 3, 6, 8, or whatever %. So very, very impactful.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.